You're already making more than this role is worth, Natasha. I'm sitting across from him, clutching a printed email filled with salary comparisons I spent 3 hours gathering. My fingers tremble because I hate requesting anything. I hate conflict. But I'd finally built up the nerve to ask for $12,000 more a year. $12,000. Just $1,000 a month. That's food on my table and my student loan bill. And Darren Kowalski, my manager of 4 years, is leaning back in his ergonomic chair that costs more than I earn in 2 weeks. Actually laughing. Not a soft chuckle. A full, carefree laugh like I delivered the best joke he's heard all year. Where did you even pull these numbers from? Indeed? Those salary sites are wildly unrealistic. You're a data analyst, Nat, not running the whole department. The truth is, I kind of am running the whole department, but we'll get to that. I'm Natasha Chen. I'm 29, and I've been slowly suffocating at Brightwater Analytics for 4 years. It's a mid-sized consulting firm that helps companies understand their data, and I'm good at what I do. Really good. The kind of good where clients email me directly instead of going through the proper chain because they know I'll actually fix their issues. Before I dive deeper into this disaster, please like this video, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from in the comments, because I need to know I'm not the only one. I need to know other people have felt this tiny, this overlooked, this absolutely fed up with being treated like they're replaceable, and honestly, I need the reassurance right now. So there I am, watching my boss laugh in my face when something shifts inside my chest. Not dramatically, just a soft snap, like a rubber band stretched past its limit. The market salary for someone with my experience is between $78,000 and $85,000. I say it reading straight from my printout because my brain has stopped functioning. I'm earning 62. Market rate, he echoes, like I just spoke another language. Natasha, listen, we're not Google. We're not some flashy tech startup tossing money everywhere. We're a family business. Family business. I want to throw something. Brightwater Analytics was founded by his uncle in 1987, and sure, half the leadership team shares DNA, but we're hardly a mom-and-pop operation. We have 43 employees and clients like Marriott International and the state of Maryland. I get that, I say, but I haven't had a real raise in 3 years. Cost of living bumps don't count. You were promoted to senior analyst 18 months ago with a 2% increase. That's still a raise. I can feel heat crawling up my face. Darren, I trained the last 3 people you hired. I cover James's workload whenever he's gone, which is basically every Friday. I rebuilt the entire client reporting system when it crashed in February. You did your job. He's not laughing anymore, but there's a sharpness in his voice that makes me want to sink into the carpet. Look, I get it. Everyone wants more money. But you're 29. You live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's not like you're supporting a family. And there it is. The thing that makes me want to scream is, what does my personal life have to do with the value of my work? What does being single and childless have to do with whether I deserve fair pay? That's not really relevant to my performance. Or is it completely relevant? Sarah Morrison has 3 kids and a mortgage. James Peterson is getting married next year. They have real expenses. Sarah Morrison, who I've covered for during 2 maternity leaves, and who still CCs me on client emails because she doesn't understand pivot tables. James Peterson, who takes 2-hour lunches and calls me at 9 p.m. because he's finally looking at reports that were due that morning. I should leave. I should stand up, thank him for his time, and walk out with whatever dignity I have left. Instead, I just sit there like an idiot, staring at my printed salary research, feeling my face burn with humiliation. Look, Nat, you're doing fine, you're reliable, you're smart. And we appreciate you. But asking for a 19% raise, that's just not realistic. Maybe we can revisit this next year. Next year? Always next year. I finally stand, legs wobbling. Okay, Thanks for your time. Don't look so defeated, he says, and I swear to God he actually smiles. You're young. Plenty of time to work your way up. I walk back to my desk in a strange fog. My cubicle is in the back corner by the printer that jams every third job, and across from the break room where everyone can see my screen. I've been in the same spot for 4 years, watching new hires get offices while I organize their training materials. Jennifer from HR waves as I sit down, that sympathetic look making me wonder if everyone knew how this meeting would go. Except me. Maybe they've been betting on how long it would take Darren to crush whatever was left of my professional self-worth. I try to focus on the Morrison account analysis due tomorrow, but I keep replaying the conversation. You're already overpaid. The casual way he said it, like it was obvious. Like I was too dumb to know my place. My phone buzzes with a text from my sister. How did it go? I don't answer. The thing about working somewhere for 4 years is that you start to believe their version of your worth. Slowly, without realizing, you begin to think, maybe you really aren't that valuable. Maybe you're lucky to have this job. Maybe asking for more is greedy. But that night, I go home to my overpriced one-bedroom apartment that apparently disqualifies me from financial growth. And I do something I should have done years ago. I update my LinkedIn profile. Not out of spite. I'm not planning some elaborate revenge. I'm just tired. Tired of being grateful for scraps. Tired of watching less qualified people get promoted around me. Tired of feeling guilty for wanting more. It takes me 3 hours to update everything. My work history, my skills, my accomplishments. Seeing it all laid out like that, I realize I've been undervaluing myself for so long that I started believing my own discount pricing. I've single-handedly managed client relationships worth over $2 million. I built the data visualization dashboard that landed us the Whitfield Hospital contract. I've trained 6 people who now earn more than me. I speak Python, SQL, R, and Tableau fluently. I have a master's degree in statistics from Johns Hopkins. On paper, I look pretty damn good. I set my profile to open to work and go to bed. The next morning, I have 11 LinkedIn messages waiting. 11. I'm sitting at my desk drinking terrible office coffee and pretending to review the Morrison reports. But really, I'm reading message after message from recruiters and hiring managers who apparently think my skills are worth something. Hi, Natasha. I came across your profile and would love to discuss an opportunity at Meridian Health. Your experience with healthcare analytics caught my attention. We're looking for a senior data scientist, and your background is exactly what we need. Senior data scientist, not analyst. Scientist. I'm trying to process this when Darren walks by my desk. Morning, Nat. You feeling better about things? Yeah, I lie. Much better. Good. That's what I like to hear. Oh, and can you review the Peterson presentation before 2 Quang? He's nervous about the data sections. Of course he is. I spend my lunch break taking a recruiting call in my car. The woman on the phone is Diana Vasquez, calling from Coastline Medical Systems. They need someone to lead their analytics team for a major software implementation project. The position is remote and flexible, she says, and the salary range is between $120 and $150, depending on experience. $120,000. I'm silent so long that Diana asks if I'm still there. Sorry. Yes, I'm here. That salary range is for the position I'd be applying for. Well, looking at your background, I'd probably slot you somewhere in the middle of that range, maybe 130 to start, with performance reviews every 6 months. $130,000, more than double what I'm making now. The thing is, Diana continues, we need someone who can start relatively soon. This is a pretty urgent placement. Would you be available for a video interview this week? I schedule it for Thursday at lunch, then another for Friday. By the end of the week, I'm juggling phone calls and video interviews, like I'm running some kind of covert operation. I'm taking calls in my car, in coffee shops, in the bathroom at work when I can't get away. It's exhausting and exhilarating and terrifying all at once, because here's what I'm learning. I'm not overpaid. I'm not even fairly paid. I'm criminally underpaid. Every single recruiter who calls quotes a salary range that starts above what I'm making now. Most offer 40 to 50,000 more. Some offer even more. The Coastline interview goes well, really well. Well enough that Diana calls me back 2 hours later to schedule a second round with the department director. Friday afternoon, I'm pretending to work on quarterly reports when my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize, but I've been getting a lot of recruiter calls. So I step outside to take it. Natasha, this is Kevin Waldrop from Hartfeld Associates. Hartfeld Associates. I applied for a position there on Wednesday night, but honestly, I didn't think they'd call. They're huge. Like international consulting firm huge. Offices in 12 countries. Huge. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for calling. I'll cut right to the chase. We're looking for someone to lead data strategy for our East Coast healthcare clients. It's a director-level position, fully remote, but with quarterly travel. I've reviewed your portfolio and frankly, you're exactly what we're looking for. Director level. I've never been a director of anything. The base salary is 240 plus performance bonuses that typically run another 15 to 20%. Full benefits, stock options, the works. Would you be interested in learning more? $240,000. I'm standing outside my office building, watching people walk by living their normal lives, and this man is telling me I could make more money than I ever imagined. Yes, I manage. I definitely want to learn more. Fantastic. I know this is quick, but any chance you could do a video call Monday morning? I've got the hiring manager available at 10 a.m. Eastern. I schedule the call. I go back inside feeling like I'm walking through a movie about someone else's life. This doesn't happen to people like me. People like me stay in jobs where they're undervalued and should be grateful for cost of living adjustments. But apparently, that's not true. The Hartfeld interview is on Monday. The Coastline second round interview is Tuesday. I have 3 other interviews scheduled for next week. And you know what the really crazy part is? I'm good at this. I'm good at interviews when I'm not desperate. When I'm not begging for scraps. When I know my worth. I can talk about my work with confidence. I can list my accomplishments without apologizing for taking up space. Wednesday of the following week, Diana from Coastline calls with an offer. $135,000, fully remote, 4 weeks vacation, health insurance without a $3,000 deductible. I'm in my car again, parked outside a Starbucks because I can't take these calls at work anymore. Someone's going to notice. This is a formal offer, Diana says. I'll email you the details this afternoon. How are you feeling about everything? How am I feeling? I'm feeling like I want to drive straight to Darren's office and quit without notice. I'm feeling vindicated and angry and scared and excited. It's a great offer, I tell her. Can I have a few days to think about it? Of course. Take your time. Thursday morning, Kevin from Hartfeld calls. Natasha, we'd like to make you an offer. I'm not even surprised anymore. Well, that's not true. I'm surprised by everything that's happening. But I've moved past the shock into this weird state of suspended disbelief. We're offering $280,000 plus annual bonuses averaging 20%. Stock options vest over 4 years, 5 weeks vacation, full health care, dental, vision, company laptop, home office stipend, travel expenses, the works. $280,000? I have to ask him to repeat it because I think I misheard. $280,000. He says it again. It's the top of our range for this role, but honestly, after talking with you and reviewing your work samples, we don't want to risk losing you to another offer. Another offer. Like, I'm the kind of person who routinely gets multiple job offers. Like I have options. That's an incredible offer, Kevin. You're an incredible candidate. When would you be able to start? When would I be able to start my new life making more money than I ever imagined? When would I be able to leave behind 4 years of being told I should be grateful for less? I'd need to give 2 weeks' notice at my current position. Of course, professional courtesy. I respect that. So, we're looking at Monday the 18th. Monday the 18th. 2 weeks from now, I could be starting a job that pays more than 4 times what I'm making now, assuming I accept the offer? Yes, I hope you will. I'll send over the formal paperwork this afternoon, take the weekend to review everything, and we'll touch base Monday. I sit in my car for 20 minutes after we hang up, just staring at my phone. $280,000. I drive back to work in a daze. I walk through the office, past Darren's corner office with his expensive chair, past Sarah Morrison, who's explaining to a client why their report will be late again, past James Peterson, who's on his phone planning weekend golf. I sit at my desk and stare at my computer screen, and for the first time in 4 years, I see this place clearly. I see how small they've made me feel, how they've convinced me that wanting more was unreasonable, how they've built their success on my work while paying me just enough to keep me from leaving, but not anymore. I have 2 offers, 2 incredible, life-changing offers. And on Monday morning, I'm going to walk into Darren's office and give my notice. The only question is which offer I'm going to take. I spend the weekend in this weird bubble where everything feels surreal. I keep pulling up the offer letters on my laptop, reading them over and over like they might disappear if I don't keep checking. Coastline, $135,000, remote work available, immediate start. Hartfeld, $280,000, director-level position, includes stock options. The smart move is Hartfeld. Obviously, it's more than double Coastline's offer. It's more money than my parents made combined when I was growing up. It's set for life money. But there's this part of me that's terrified. They'll change their minds, that someone will call Monday morning and say, "Actually, we made a mistake. We meant to offer you half that." Because people like me don't get offers like this. Except, apparently, we do. Monday morning, I wake up at 5 a.m. Even though my alarm isn't set until 6:30, I can't sleep. I keep rehearsing what I'm going to say to Darren, how I'm going to handle this conversation without completely burning bridges. I get to work early because I want to get this over with before I lose my nerve. The office is mostly empty. Just me and a few other people who either love their jobs or hate themselves. I sit at my desk and practice typing my resignation letter. Dear Darren, please accept this letter as my formal 2 weeks' notice. Delete. Dear Mr. Kowalski, I am writing to inform you of my resignation. Delete. This letter serves as formal notification that I am resigning from my position. God, this is harder than I thought. How do you professionally tell someone who laughed at your worth that you're leaving for more money than they probably make? At 8:30, I see Darren walk in with his usual Monday morning Starbucks and newspaper. He's got this routine where he reads the sports section first, then checks his emails, then starts bothering people about their weekend productivity. I give him 20 minutes to settle in, then I walk over to his office. Hey Darren, do you have a few minutes? Sure. Come on in. Close the door. He doesn't look up from his computer. I actually wanted to talk to you about the Morrison account. I think we need to restructure some of the reporting timelines. I sit down across from his desk, holding my resignation letter that I finally finished typing 5 minutes ago. Actually, I need to discuss something else first. Something in my tone makes him look up. I'm giving my 2 weeks' notice. The words come out steadier than I expected. Clean and simple. Final. Darren stares at me for a full 30 seconds without saying anything. I can hear the office printer warming up outside his door. Someone making coffee. Normal Monday morning sounds. You're quitting? Yes. Why? What happened? Did someone say something to you? And this is the moment I've been waiting for without realizing it. The moment where I get to tell him exactly why I'm leaving. I found a position that values my skills appropriately. Natasha, if this is about our conversation last week, it's not about the conversation. It's about the outcome of the conversation. He leans back in his expensive chair, and I can see him calculating, trying to figure out how much trouble this is going to cause, who he'll have to reassign my work to, how long it'll take to replace me, what kind of offer we're talking about here. Maybe there's room for negotiation. 2 weeks ago, I would have fallen over myself to hear him say those words. 2 weeks ago, the possibility of negotiation would have felt like winning the lottery. Now it just makes me tired. I don't think we're in the same ballpark. Darren, try me. What are they offering? I almost tell him. I almost say $280,000 just to watch his face change. But something stops me. Maybe it's professionalism. Maybe it's self-preservation. Maybe I just don't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing exactly how much he undervalued me. Significantly more than my current salary. How much more? 10,000? 15? He still doesn't get it. He still thinks I'm in his league. Playing by his rules? More than that. 20? 30? Come on, Nat, help me out here. I can't make a counteroffer if I don't know what we're working with. I don't want a counteroffer, Darren. I've made my decision. This is when his expression changes. When he realizes this isn't a negotiation tactic or a plea for attention. This is actually happening. You're serious. Completely serious. What company? I'd rather not say until everything is finalized. Is it a competitor? Because you know there's a non-compete clause in your contract. And there it is. The threat? The attempt to make me feel trapped and guilty for wanting more. I've reviewed my contract. This position doesn't violate any non-compete restrictions. I haven't actually reviewed my contract that carefully, but I'm pretty sure Darren hasn't either. Natasha, I think you're making a mistake. New jobs are risky. You don't know the company culture, the management style. You've got security here. You're part of the team. Part of the team. The team that forgot to invite me to salary reviews and promotion discussions. I appreciate that, but I've made my decision. What if we revisited your compensation? I know we said next year, but maybe there's something we can do now. Now that I'm leaving, suddenly there's budget flexibility. I'm not interested in revisiting anything. My last day will be Friday the 25th. I stand up to leave, but Darren keeps talking. Just think about this over lunch, okay? Don't do anything hasty. We can figure something out. I walk back to my desk feeling lighter than I have in years. It's done. I actually did it. But the weirdest part, I don't feel vindictive or angry anymore. I just feel free. The next few days are strange. Word spreads pretty quickly that I'm leaving. Suddenly, everyone wants to know where I'm going, why I'm leaving, whether I'm happy, and if the new company is hiring. Wednesday morning, Sarah Morrison corners me by the coffee machine. I heard you're leaving. That's so crazy. Where are you going? A consulting firm? Local? Remote? Remote? Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I've been trying to get approval to work from home 1 day a week for like 6 months. What's the pay like? Everyone wants to know about the money. It's like they can sense that something bigger is happening here, that this isn't just a lateral move to another similar company. It's a good opportunity, I tell her. But like, how much better? Because I've been thinking about looking around too, but I don't know if it's worth the hassle unless it's significantly more. You know, I want to tell all of them that there are jobs out there paying twice what they make, that companies exist that actually value their employees, that we've all been settling for so much less than we're worth. But I don't. Partly because it feels like bragging, and partly because I'm not sure they'd believe me. Thursday afternoon, Darren stops by my desk again. Hey, you got a minute? We walk back to his office, and this time he closes the door behind us. I've been thinking about our conversation Monday, and I want to make you an offer. Here we go. I talked to my uncle, and we're prepared to bump you up to 75,000. Plus, we'll fast-track you for a promotion to lead analyst. That would come with your own office and a small team to manage. $75,000, a $13,000 raise. Exactly $1,000 more than what I originally asked for. 2 months ago, this offer would have changed my life. It would have felt like winning, like finally being recognized and valued. Now it feels insulting. I appreciate the offer, Darren, but I've already accepted the other position. You signed a contract already. I gave them my verbal commitment. Verbal commitments aren't binding. Look, what if we went to 80? That's a 30% increase from where you are now. 80,000. Still less than the lowest offer I got from any of the companies that called me. It's not about the money anymore. That's not entirely true. It's absolutely about the money, but it's also about respect and trust, and the fact that they only want to pay me what I'm worth when I'm walking out the door. What can I do to change your mind? Seriously. Name it. And this is the moment I realize that Darren is scared. Actually scared. He's finally done the math on what my leaving means for the department, for his workload, for the projects that only I know how to handle. Nothing. There's nothing you can do. Friday is my last day. I spend most of it documenting processes and transitioning my active projects to other people. It takes me 7 hours to create handoff notes for everything I was working on, and I realized that I was managing way more than I thought I was. The Morrison account, the Peterson presentation templates, the client reporting dashboard, 3 different database projects, training materials for new hires, backup coverage for 2 other analysts. No wonder Darren panicked. At 5 p.m., I pack up my desk. 4 years of accumulated stuff, a desk plant, some framed photos, a coffee mug I brought from home, a stapler I bought myself because the office ones were awful. It all fits into one small cardboard box. Darren watches me pack from his office doorway. You sure about this, Nat? I'm sure. What if the new job doesn't work out? You know you're always welcome back here. Thanks. I appreciate that. I don't appreciate it. Not really, but there's no sense in torching bridges, even the ones you never intend to set foot on again. I walk out of Brightwater Analytics at 5:47 p.m. on a Friday, holding my little box of belongings and feeling like I'm stepping into an entirely different life. Monday morning, I start at Hartfeld Associates. The onboarding takes 3 days, 3 full days of training, system setup, introductions with my new team, and orientation sessions. They assign me a buddy for my first month, give me a $2,000 stipend for home office gear, and send me a welcome package with company merch and a handwritten note from the CEO. My first paycheck is more than I used to earn in 3 months. But here's the thing, no one mentions about revenge. It's never really about the other person. It's not about rubbing your success in their face or watching them squirm. It's about proving to yourself that you were right from the beginning. I was worth more than what they paid me. I did deserve better. I wasn't being greedy or unrealistic or difficult. I was just being human. 3 weeks into my new job, my phone rings. Unknown number, but the area code is familiar. Natasha, this is Darren. I almost ignore it. I'm in my home office working on a data strategy presentation for a client meeting, sipping coffee from a mug I actually picked out instead of whatever was chipped in the office kitchen. Hi, Darren. Hey, I hope it's okay that I'm calling. I got your number from HR. What can I do for you? Well, we're having some trouble with the Morrison account. Their Q3 reporting requirements changed, and honestly, nobody here really understands the dashboard system you built. Sarah's been trying to figure it out, but Sarah doesn't understand pivot tables, let alone complex visualization dashboards. I documented everything before I left. I know, I know. And your notes are great. Really thorough. But there are some specific client requirements that weren't included and we're kind of stuck. I wait for him to finally get to his point. I was wondering if you might be available for some consulting work. Just a few hours to help us manage the transition. We'd pay your consulting rate, of course. My consulting rate? I don't have a consulting rate. I've never been a consultant. What kind of timeline are we talking about? Well, the client presentation is next Friday, so pretty immediate. I know it's a lot to ask, but you're the only one who truly understands this system from top to bottom, the only person who knows how to do the work he once insisted I was already overpaid for. I'll have to check my schedule and get back to you. Of course, of course. But if you could let me know soon, that would be great. We're really in a bind here. After we hang up, I sit in my home office for a long time, thinking. I could help them. I could spend a few hours this week walking Sarah through the dashboard system and making sure the client presentation goes smoothly. It would be the professional thing to do, the kind thing to do. Or I could let them figure it out themselves. In the end, I text him back. After reviewing my current commitments, I won't be able to take on additional consulting work at this time. Best of luck with the presentation. He calls me twice after that. I don't answer. 6 months later, I get a LinkedIn message from Jennifer in HR. Hey, Natasha. Hope you're doing well in your new role. We're hiring for a senior data scientist position, and I immediately thought of you. Would you be interested in discussing an opportunity to come back to the Brightwater family? Senior data scientist. The title I should have had 2 years ago. I don't respond to that message either. Here's what I want you to understand. This isn't really a story about getting revenge on a bad boss. This is a story about finally seeing your own worth clearly. For 4 years, I let other people define my value. I let them convince me that wanting more was unrealistic, that being grateful for less was somehow noble. But the truth is, nobody else gets to decide what you're worth. Not your boss, not your company, not your family, not society. You get to decide that. And once you really know your worth, not just intellectually, but in your bones, everything changes. It changes how you walk into rooms, how you talk about your work, how you negotiate, how you show up in the world. It changes what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to walk away from. I'm not making $280,000 a year because I'm special or lucky, or because I magically transformed overnight. I'm making that money because I finally stopped undervaluing myself. The company I left? They hired 3 people to replace me. 3. And according to a former colleague who still texts me occasionally, they're still struggling with some of the systems I built. Darren got promoted to regional director 6 months after I left, which is hilarious because his region is now performing worse than it has in 5 years. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well. Sometimes it's knowing that while they're scrambling to replace you with 3 people, you're building something bigger, better, and more valuable than they could ever imagine. And sometimes, when your old boss calls desperate and panicked, asking for help with work he once told you you were overpaid to do, the sweetest revenge is just saying no. If you made it this far, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken for yourself? When did you finally decide you are worth more? Because I need you to know that you are. You're worth more than whatever situation you're settling for. You're worth more than the people who make you feel small. You're worth exactly what you decide you're worth. And once you truly believe that, everything becomes possible.